What is up, YouTube? We are back breaking down UFC 328 Khamzet versus Sean Strickland. What a verbal war it has been over the past couple weeks, especially the press conference. I will make a whole separate video about my whereabouts, as well as we will do an April recap at some point this upcoming week. However, we have to break down these fights. It is a stacked card. It is going to start in like 6 hours, so I gotta get these out for you guys. And I'm kind of excited. I feel like the main event is going to be lopsided. You'll see who I have there in a second, but the other fights, you got some title eliminators, you got some 1 second somewhat drastically changed the rankings. So there is some good fights on this card, but we got to get right into it. We're starting with Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. Oh, by the way, doing a random hunt. We're not doing the selected one. We just got to get right back into it, but it will be a hunt. Let's see where I'm going today. I think I will be going. You can never go wrong with silver. I feel like I just did that last time. We'll do silver. We'll do silver again. We'll do late. We'll do late. But yeah, first fight, Clayton Carpenter, Jose Ochoa. Carpenter has been like meh, like honestly. He goes out there, he has some flashes of good, some not so really. Um, but I think with Jose Ochoa, even though past couple times he's won, lost, the level of competition's better. He's got a way higher chance of a finishing ability, and I know he just lost to Almabayev and he didn't look that good, but that was a big jump in the rankings. He is only like 23, 24 years old. I think I gotta rock with Jose Ochoa, and I'm doing first round sub. Catches him in some stuff. Wait, I'm in Hirschfelden. I don't want to do Hirschfelden. Did I not do Layton? Alright, well, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be, I guess. Alright. But yeah, I'm rocking Jose Ochoa, first round sub. That's how we're kicking off the card. On to the next one, we got Bisanger Susukayev versus DeJordan Santos. This should be a layup for Susukayev, even though he could barely finish Mechanico. I wouldn't say that. He did end up knocking out Mechanico really bad, but he looked shit up until that point, or not as good as everyone perceived he might be. However, DeJordan Santos is so bad. He lost to Ozzy Diaz. He actually ended up casting out in that fight, from what I remember, and such a bad look. If you're losing to Ozzy Diaz in the middleweight, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Um, Susukayev, I don't think he gets him out of there first round. I feel like it's going to be filling him out. I can see him trying to be flashy, not really getting anything to land. And then second round, it's just like a blitz and just gets him out of there. So I'm going Susukayev. Second round KO there. I feel like that's the play. First round KO, obviously very live as well. Don't know the ground game of DeJordan Santos to really see if Susukayev is going to do that to him. I wouldn't think so. I feel like this is going to be Susukayev KO, second round. That's how we're rocking. Whoa. Ah, shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay. On to the next fight. We got Pat Sabatini versus William Gomes. both of these guys are probably some of the best unranked featherweights in the division. Oh my gosh. It's a big one. Yeah, mythical, I have no choice. Wow. Just come strolling along like that. That's sick. You true to guys, you know? Um, where'd he go? Is he not dead? Another one down there. You got a 5 medium. Yeah, but going back to this, so these guys are two of the best. It's a grappling versus striker matchup, man. I meant Sabatini is a poor man's version of how Aljo was in his prime. Just oh, uh, uh, dang, that's a 7. That's a 6. No way that missed. No way that missed. No, how? It must have skimmed shoulder or something. Oh, I even lined it up right. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's him. Oh, he's about to die. No, if he gets back here, I got you. I could take you out of your misery, youngin'. I probably scared off the other 5. That was Jay chilling. That is unfortunate. Yeah, 5 is... He's still calm, actually. Okay. The 5 is still calm. But yeah, Sabatini is like... If I can get him to turn, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that one did die. It's tough to get these neck shots. These are... This is interesting, alright. Yeah, it's definitely missed. I definitely fucking missed. Alright, well. We're off to a fantastic start today. But yeah, Sabatini, I think he's just like, he's so boring. He just gets your back and he does nothing. And, you know, if you get a good ref, if you get a ref that's very assertive, wants action, someone like Sabatini might suffer, and there will be more opportunities for a guy like William Gomis to counter it and create more damage on the feet. Whoa. Whoa. That village was not here. Am I tripping? What is going on with this game? That village was not here. What? Interesting. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. That's what a female red fox mating call sounds like. My goodness. I see no tracks. Where did these things go? I'm so confused. Wow. But yeah, so it'll be very interesting. I feel like Gomes does not have that good of grappling. I feel like his takedown defense is decent, but I don't know. It's gonna be tricky. I have a bad feeling Sabatini's going to do the same thing he did to Chepe. He's just going to hold the back. He's going to win based off of control. It's going to be a boring fight. And people will be asking for Sabatini to be in the rankings because he's going on a win streak. Even though they're all boring, they are somewhat dominant, I guess, even though he's not creating damage. So Sabatini decision is what I'm rocking with, but that is up in there. Now for arguably my stay the fuck away from fight of the week. We got Marco Tulio versus Roman Kopylov. Tulio, if this was before his, who did he just lose to? He just, Christian Leroy Duncan. If it was, I didn't see the fight, but from what I was hearing and from the finish I've seen, he just, wait, I need to find out where this freaking deer is, bro. Um, like, this is, very interesting fight. Kopylov also hasn't looked the same. Kopylov's old, man. Kopylov is about to be 35 years old. How crazy is that? Yeah, Roman Kopylov is 35, I believe. So this ought to be very interesting. See what happens with Kopylov. This game might be bugged on some. It really might be. What the heck is going on, man? This is so weird. Yeah, either way, Tulio, I could see him looking really good the first like round or two. Close fight though, close rounds. And then I can see him starting to gas. I can see Kopylov starting to land some of those high kicks. And then from there I could see it just a late finish for Kopylov, kind of similar to the Chris Curtis thing. Um, this is the was solid. That was a good one, no doubt. Wouldn't have been Diamond, thankfully. Would have cried if it would have been. Um, Here's something over here. Kopylov third round KO. That's what we're rocking with. We'll see what happens. On to the next fight, we got Battle of the Vets. We got Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Also another tricky one. Oh, did I get all three? Oh no. So that's a 7. So I need to find. Interesting. Oh, let me see. Let me see where this takes me out to. Battle of the Vets. Both of them are clearly out of their prime. Even Jared Gordon, who's been robbed on at least 3 different occasions in the last 5 years. But Jared Gordon did not look good against Rafa Garcia. And I forget if Rafa Garcia beat Alexander Hernandez when they fought a few weeks ago. I forget whether I was asleep, away doing something, or whatever. But yeah, that was not the best look. Yeah, Jared Gordon just looked slow. He looked a little flat-footed. It wasn't the same Jared Gordon. If this is Jared Gordon from even a year ago, I'm like, dude, I'm taking him even over the crafty vet Jim Miller. But unfortunately, I just don't know if I can really do that. Jim Miller, who's very old, he still has some decent weapons. That's a nice 7. Still has some very decent weapons, but it's just at a certain point, it's like, how much longer can I really trust a 42-year-old lightweight? And even though Jared Gordon isn't looking the same, he's still Jared Gordon. It's tricky. I don't know. That's a 6, huh? That's dead on sight. Nice. There we go. See, that's what we need. First vital organ hit of the day. Unless I hit spine accidentally, which would be a shame, but I don't think so. I think I was too high up. So yeah, I it's tricky. This one is tough as well. I'm gonna go with Jared Gordon. Um, I think he's just gonna do more. Jim Miller's not gonna be able to get him down, and if he gets him down, he's not gonna hold him down. Bang, trifecta. That's huge. So I'm rocking with no, not Jared Gordon by decision. On to the next fight, we got Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Tricky fight as well, honestly, because this is a striker versus grappler as it gets. Grant Dawson is one of the most underrated grapplers in lightweight. The problem is his chin is glass. He is Beneil Dariush 2.0, unfortunately. So does Grant Dawson control him for 3 rounds, or does Rebecki find it very early? And it's tough, man. Rebecki, he has to win over Orobai, which is a war. He had a war with Chris Duncan, but then he gets held down and destroyed for most of the fight by Ludwig Klein, who tore his ACL or MCL towards the end of that second round. And he had no awareness that Ludwig Klein's leg was messed up, so he's holding him down there in full guard, trying to rain down punches. It was poor IQ. I can't remember if the corner didn't recognize it or if they did and they tried to say something, but that was just a bad look for Rebecki. That is the reason why I will be picking against him in this one. But yeah, the first round Rebecki KO is live. It's legit. Even though Rebecki doesn't really put away people like that, Dawson's chin is so sketch that you kind of have to think that it's definitely a viable option. So if you're playing Rebecki first or second round KO, I don't blame you. I'm doing Dawson decision, a nut hug. That's what I'm kind of predicting here. On to the next fight, we got Yaroslav Amosov versus Joel Alvarez. Okay, so Amosov made debut or had 2 fights in the UFC, and he's looked spectacular in both. Subbing Neil Magny, I think it was in the first round, making it look easy. Easy, man. Which is so crazy because I don't watch fights outside of the UFC. However, the one time I did tune in for the Bellator finale, which happened to be this guy headlining with Jason Jackson, I believe, another guy from the Black Zillions team with Usman and Burns. He was on that Ultimate Fighter season with the ATT versus Black Zillions. He's sneaky underrated, and he destroyed Amosov. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to get destroyed. Fraud record of 27-0. Comes in there, and I know it's Neil Magny, and I know it's an older Neil Magny. He subs him easily. So now he goes up against Joel Alvarez. Who I thought at lightweight was a problem. Obviously, he clearly couldn't make the weight, at least healthily. He couldn't. Goes up to welterweight. I'm like, okay, I think he's still going to do well with the lighter man skill, and he's still pretty big for this division. And he had kind of a dud. Who was it against? Was it against Luque? Like, he just didn't look that good. He looked low volume, very timid. Wasn't the same Joel Alvarez from lightweight where he's just trying to finish you and put you away with a bunch of different weapons. It's very tricky. I know both these guys are fairly well rounded. I'm going to go with Amosov, though, second round sub. Flukes himself into a takedown. I could see Joel Alvarez winning like the fight barely up until that point. Just doing a little bit more, and then Amosov just gets a second round sub on him out of nowhere. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. We'll see. On to the next fight, we got Iteba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. My goodness, why is this fight being made? I think they actually fought each other like a few fights ago. So why is this definitely being made? Actually, maybe not. I have to look on this because I am actually genuinely curious. So Tebagati, okay, no, it was canceled. He was supposed to fight Ozzy Diaz. Okay. And that's when he ended up facing Tristan Vines. Okay, that makes more sense. Gaudier is middleweight Ngannou. He is definitely to be feared. However, yes, he won the Pullaev fight. Yes, he didn't completely gas out, but he gassed out. He is first rounder bust, it kind of seems like. Um, the Pullaev win is a bad look, which is so crazy to say that a win is a bad look. He did not look that good. It was pretty close in the end. Pullaev was starting to get some. Pullaev definitely got a round out of there. It might have been the second or third. But there's one thing we have to look at, and Gaudier was getting spammed with those kicks at certain points, and he didn't give up. He didn't back down. He kept going. It was low volume. He still was able to win. So there are some bright spots to that horrible performance. And it's also the fact I just don't think Pullaev is that good. But I think this is a great opportunity. Oh my goodness, this is a great opportunity for Gaudier to go out there, get another easy KO, get the. Oh wait, hold on. Is it really that far up? Go out there for Gaudier, get another early finish, add to the highlight reel, even though these guys are all cans. Get that confidence back, and then we can start looking up the rankings again and see what they got. But I think as much as I don't want them to baby him too much, he is only 24. The Pullaev thing, they got lucky. It wasn't a loss. I'm fine with a little bit of rebuilding over here. You know what I mean? He's only 4-0 in the promotion. Let him get 2 or 3 more wins before we're looking at a ranked opponent. Let's start with the Ozzy Diaz win this weekend, but make it quick and easy. Because if it doesn't come quick and easy, then we got a problem against Ozzy Diaz, no doubt. On to the next fight. Oh, it's a catch weight now. That's right, because Jeremy Stephens missed weight. Jeremy Stephens versus Bobby King Green. Some people are saying this is going to be the banger of the night. It could very well be just because Jeremy Stephens throws like a tard. It's very possible. Um, but Bobby Green, he's still slick. He's entering his second prime at 38 years old or however old he is. Bobby Green's legit, man. He's still got it. He has the win over Lance Gibson Jr., which I bet against him in that. He has the win over Zell Huber, which I also bet against him in. I'm not betting against him on this one. And I don't think I would have even if he would have lost those other two. Clear as day. Jeremy Stephens, I think he's half-assed in the sport, half-assed not. I don't even know why they signed him back for the Des Moines card last year. It was so weird. It made no sense because he's doing his own thing in bare knuckle boxing. Gets absolutely destroyed by Mike Perry. Rightfully so, though. Mike Perry is the bare knuckle boxing GOAT. But Jeremy Stephens, man, it's just like he was horrible like 5 years ago when he lost to Gamera and lost to somebody else. They brought him back. Don't know why they brought. Really don't know why they brought him back. Like that was one of those. Is like you could have let him go and just it could have been like that. They brought him back. He fought Mason Jones. He lost pretty convincingly from what I remember. And now he's just gonna be winging punches, and Bobby Green's just gonna be ducking them all day. I got second round KO Bobby Green. Um, just a lot of whiffs in the first round, and then Bobby Green's second round starts making him whiff, and then countering on top of it after he gets the reads going. Um, that might be the lock of the night for me. It might be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, that's very interesting, honestly. Very, very interesting. That might be. I'll come back to that at the end of the video, but Bobby Green's second round KO is live. Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley next on the main card. Pretty big welterweight implications. However, the division is so stacked that it doesn't mean as much as it should. Both these guys are coming off the losses to some pretty good guys, you know, in Usman and Morales, respectively. Before that, they were on win streaks. They were looking like they could have been potentially next in the title picture if they would have beat their respective opponents. Um, Classic wrestler versus, oh, yeah, grappler versus striker matchup. Oh, whoa, 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 we got a few, we got a few. Something pops out here. Right in the pathway. No? Alright. Oh, no. Oh, that was a bigger fox. I've seen it. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, so grappler, striker, you know, this also kind of, in a way, gives me vibes of the Dawson and Rebetsky fight. In a way, you know, Buckley obviously has more power, more finishing ability than a Rebetsky. But you know, Brady's chin is sketchy, but Brady gets you down and he's holding you down. It's a problem. Like you're not getting back up. Like Brady's grappling is legit, some of the best in welterweight, no doubt. I really, 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 I really, really am curious to see. I don't know. This is, I mean, Buckley, I think, could um, shrug off the takedowns. But Usman just getting him down so easily, an older Usman, that was so concerning. You know, Buckley's almost taken off a year though, which is kind of unheard of. He's very active usually, so I'm hoping he's made these adjustments. If he goes out there, shakes off the takedowns of Brady, and then makes it look fairly easy, you know, that's going to be huge. That's going to be big for his brand. That's going to get him right back into the picture. He sells fights too, so I know that, you know, if he wins this, he wins another one. He's title. You know, he should be at least, depending on what the division looks like at that time. But the division is so stacked. Um, I think I am gonna go with Brady. I'm gonna go based off of the wrestling. You know, Buckley is massive. I don't think he's Michael Morales massive. I think I don't know what Brady's game plan was there. That was really like Brady. Like one in every four fights of Brady, he just it looks like his game plan is just mid, or he just doesn't. I wouldn't say he doesn't care, but like it's just like it's not well executed. Like standing with Morales and just letting him club on you. Um, I don't remember the Bilal fight, but from what I remember, like there were opportunities where Bilal's throwing it. I know Bilal's a great and decorated grappler, but could have wrestled him down potentially to stop the beating on the feet. But I don't know. But like in between these fights, he shows that he has some of the best ground game. He's has some of the best control time ever. Like when he gets you down, you don't get back up. So I don't know. It'll be very, very, very interesting here. I'm going Brady decision. Um, I'm hoping this is a good fight though. I want to see both guys showcase it. I think with either guy losing, it's not all said and done. Even if they'll be on a two-fight loss streak, these guys both have enough skills and enough, and like they're fairly young enough. They're both in early 30s, fairly young enough where another loss won't completely derail any future title hopes for them. They just have to wait for the rest of the welterweight to get sorted out, go get another win after this. Maybe, well, obviously two or three if you've lost, and then you're right back in it. On to the next fight. We got Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Honestly, this might be my stay the F away from fight of the week. I cannot find myself predicting this one correctly. If we're talking recency bias, I have to rock not Volkov, Cortez Acosta. Since he's lost to Pavlovich in August, he has compiled a four-fight win streak or three. It might be three. I have to look. I think it's a three-fight win streak. It is a three-fight win streak. He went out there, beat Anta Deliha in a crazy cinematic performance coming off the Aspinall thing and everything being said about the Aspinall. Got poked in the eye and KOs him after. Hurt my soul as a fellow Croatian and everything. However, that was hilarious. 3 weeks later, takes on Shamil Gaziev, enemy territory, short notice, makes Gaziev start chewing on his mouthpiece again, and then chins him in the first round. Then they're like, all right, turn around, start off the Paramount era versus Derek Lewis. Gets Derek Lewis out of there. 3 finishes over the course of 2 months, or I guess 3 months. Yeah, 3 months, but legit. Dude's legit. Um, yeah, I mean, Volkov, though, should have beat Srogan. Who else did he face? He faced somebody else last year that he beat pretty easily too. Like, Volkov is in his prime right now. If not, maybe, and then we'll find out. We'll find out Saturday night. Maybe it was a year or two ago, but this guy beat Pavlovich, who beat Cortez Acosta. I know MMA math doesn't matter, especially at heavyweight, but Volkov has some tools, and I feel like he could make it a tricky fight for Cortez Acosta with the reach advantage. I think he could have Cortez Acosta whiffing and getting a little frustrated. Um, the leg kicks on both sides, I think, are going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very fun leg kicking battle at heavyweight. Honestly, I'm very, very curious to see how this goes. I'm rocking with Cortez Acosta by decision. I am not confident in it. Um, I don't see a finish. I feel like, if anything, that's more of something I feel comfortable locking in, that this goes to decision, but I do not think that either guy has a clear advantage in this one, unless I'm missing something. I don't think either guys are going to grapple. I think this is going to be a little back and forth on the feet. Um, It's going to come down to a good game plan, and who has that, I don't know. Both these guys have displayed in the past that they can go out there with solidified game plans, stick to it, and then they end up winning. So we'll see what happens there. On to the co-main event, the future of the generation. It's here. Um, wow. I mean, like this is This is quite crazy what we're dealing with here. We have Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. They are a combined 50 years old in age, I think. Taira's 26 and Van is 24. We really have the future, not just of flyweight, but the future of UFC right here. Not on the best circumstances, though, because Pantoja had a fluke injury. Yes, Van clearly won. Pantoja got injured. It wasn't like, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say Van has a clear win over Pantoja now, but it is a win. It's in the rules. It's how it goes. It's not like the illegal knee with the Jan and Sterling thing. That's way different. Um, but yeah, so we don't have it under the best circumstances. However, this is essentially, in my eyes, with in the most respected way possible. This is the placeholder to face Pantoja at the end of the year. Um, Another grappler versus striker matchup. Oh wow, that seems to be the theme of this card. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, um, I just I don't know. I mean, Van. If we're talking striking, I mean, nobody can stand with Van. I wouldn't say that nobody. I mean, Charles Johnson just chinned him like a couple of years ago, but it's going to be very hard to beat Joshua Van, especially after that Royval war and everything. Um, Tyra's pretty good. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much to say on this because, like, I've seen Tyra get shut down by a striker. I haven't seen Van get shut down by a grappler. You know what I mean? So, uh, but also outside of Durden, who has Van faced that's a grappler? Actually, did he even face Durden? I don't even know. I like obviously he's faced Pantoja, but that was 17 seconds, so that doesn't even count. I think I'm going Tyra. Just like the back taking ability, the striking does look somewhat improved. I know we're just based off of Hunsung Park and Moreno, but I think the Moreno win. I can't believe I'm saying this, which is so crazy. The Moreno win proves more to me in this fight than the Royval win proves to me in the Van fight, which sucks because Royval also pieced Tyra. But man, this is tough. I want Van to win so bad, but I think Tyra's gonna get second round sub here. I could also see a fluke into a takedown and Van can't get up and it's just switching up the grips, just doing a whole bunch of stuff that's essentially just gonna put Van into such a bad position where he has to tap. Rear naked choke, I can see an armbar. Um, I think it's gonna be Tyra second round sub. Tyra will face Pantoja at the end of the year, and we'll see what happens there. On to the main event. Oh gosh, Sean Strickland versus Hamza Shemaev. These guys, man, they are building the fight, to say the least, but they are getting very personal. And it was so obvious. I mean, I was people were texting me about the press conference. I couldn't watch it because I was still working. I was like, don't tell me anything. Like, don't spoil it. I want to watch it when I get home. I can only imagine what that press conference looks like. I also did think that Paramount or Dana would, try to censor it a little bit. But no, they let that fly, and of course, Hamza has to come at him for the dad stuff, Strickland for the Kadridov things. Both are in the wrongs, in my opinion. I'm not saying that they can't say that stuff. You're more than welcome to say that, but expect backlash from both sides. You know what I mean? Hamza bringing up child abuse, yeah, it's really messed up, especially considering, you know, never mind, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut there. Don't want to get censored, but Hamza bringing up that stuff is pretty rich. And, Strickland, just kind of just, bringing up the religion and everything. And it's like, I'm not Islamic. I don't care to be Islamic, obviously. But, if he said that about my beliefs, I'd be pretty pissed as a fan. It's a low blow. But, at the same time, Hamza was welcoming it. Dictatorship, um, ship stuff, I think it is kind of on the table. Obviously, we don't know what that looks like. Like, Hamza probably is friends with Kadridov just to keep his family safe, but at the same time, I mean, Hamza is crazy and kind of a dick enough to where I do think he actually does fancy Kadridov and they are friends, and so I think that's also kind of a low blow just because we don't know the situation. Like, Hamza could be friends with Kadridov. I'm doing air quotes right now, just keep his extended family safe, but very like the press conference, man. I like the bad blood. It's fun. It adds more intrigue. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. It adds more intrigue to the fight. But sometimes with these press conferences, if they're just yelling and talking over each other the whole time and they're mentioning the same stuff, it's just like I like even at a certain point, like I went from being glued to my seat to 2 minutes later just being on my phone because I'm like, dude, they're just talking over each other. Like, shout out to Dana and everything for keeping it alive and everything and letting them say whatever because they were saying some shit that I'm like, wow, I don't even know if they let this happen in the ESPN deal. So they are building the fight. That press conference in itself might have just drawn in 100, 150K viewers, maybe more. It could have been more, dude. Like, that press conference was crazy. Um, and then one other thing I will add: Hamza dirty for the oblique kick, so dirty. Like, you're such a tool. He actually, and then he didn't even make weight. The commission representative calls it right away. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You thought DC Towelgate was bad. You thought the Oliveira Gaethje thing was bad. This is ridiculous. With all that being said, as much as I want Strickland to win, not because I'm a fan, just because it would be so funny to see this, using air quotes again, humble guy get humbled, honestly. Like, this guy has talked so much shit. Both of them have, actually. I can't, like, it's a two-way street. Strickland said some crazy stuff, too. I don't even like Strickland. I find him annoying as well, but, you know, it would be absolute cinema if Strickland goes out there and he just, honestly, I don't even want Flash KO or whatever. I want Strickland to jab, teep, break him down over the course of 5 rounds, start shaking off the takedowns as the fight progresses. However, I'm a realist. I don't see that. I think Hamza first round sub is my lock of the night. Um, it's just, we always hear, Strickland, great, underrated, grappling. And maybe, I mean, he was getting taken down by a DDP, but he was getting back up. But I think DDP and Hamza, two different levels of grappling. I think I have to rock with Hamza first round sub, and it's gonna be bad. The bad blood's gonna continue. It's gonna be like a Habib McGregor. Like I could really see Hamza like spitting on him after, and then Strickland gets up and they're shoving, and then you got 50 security guards in. Don't see Hamza hopping the fence because I think Hamza is cordial with Eric Nicksick and like that whole team. But I could really see it being the Habib and McGregor esque where you know Herb or whoever's trying to, you know, stop the fight like after he's tapping, and then Hamzat won't let go, and then he finally lets go, and he spits on him or he pushes him, or like does something childish and whatever, and this is why I can't respect Hamzat. It's just like he can't control his freaking anger. Like sometimes it's funny, like with the Ian Gary thing, it's funny, like, but like with the Strickland thing, and then with Buckley. Like he's a hothead. Like he's a product of incest probably. Like he's a hothead. He's a great fighter. You know what I mean? Um, he's a hothead though. He can't control his anger. Most of those guys from the caucus can't. Even some of my favorite fighters like Arman Saruki and stuff. Like these guys, they can't control their anger. Yeah, it's a cultural thing. Yeah, is it a cultural thing? Maybe, I guess. You're a man. Start acting like a man. If you beat a guy in a fight, and like, and this is only if I'm assuming that Hamzat's gonna do this. He hasn't done this, so I hope I'm proven wrong. But if Hamzat does this, it's like you already won. You have nothing left to prove. What are you gonna do? You're gonna spit on him. You're gonna do whatever, which could potentially get you not, I mean, they're not going to ban him, obviously. He's too big of a star, but, like, you could. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'd really walk across the whole reserve? Oh, how did I get down? Oh, wow. Um, oh, yeah, they're going to respawn me, no doubt. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, they're not going to ban him, but, like, he could get suspended, and then we could not see him again for another 9 months, a year. Because he can't control his anger. And this is why I'm assuming. I hope this doesn't happen. But I don't know. I'm kind of sick of the stuff from both these guys. Like it was a good build up. It was different. But it's annoying. Both these guys are, they're hitting each other with, stuff that you shouldn't be hitting each other with. But like, I get it. It builds the fight. It's on the table. Freedom of speech. I get it. But like, I'm sitting here and maybe it's like, call me soft, call me mature, call me whatever you want. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dude, this is like, it's kind of cringe. Like, I don't want to hear Hamza making fun of Strickland being abused as a child. And like, granted, O'Malley did this, Dreykus did this. I didn't agree with it either. It was funny the first time because it was like, it wasn't even funny. It was like shock funny. It was like, wow, he really mentioned that. But I don't agree with that stuff. I don't agree that that stuff should be joked about. That stuff is very traumatizing. And I don't really agree with the bashing of the religion too, honestly. I don't. Kadyrov stuff, kind of on the table. We don't know what that situation looks like. I would like to think that Hamzat's not actually friends with him. He's just trying to protect extended family. But it is a little weird how he kind of went back over there from Sweden, and I don't know, but I don't know the situation. I'm not going to assume that, but some low blows here. It builds up the fight because it's different. It's heated, but the fight itself, I think it's going to be one sided. So Hamzat Strickland lock of the night. Stay the f away from fight of the night is Cortez Acosta, Volkov, and Tulio versus Kopylov. It's good to be back though, YouTube. It's been real. Recap video will probably come out tomorrow. That's what I'm shooting for. If not Monday, hopefully not Tuesday. I'm trying to be better. And then, actually, I'll probably group in the April recap with this recap. I'll just try to be a little quicker with it, assuming not too much chaos ensues tonight. But we'll see what happens. But other than that, YouTube, it has been real. We got some red deer today. And I will see you next time.